The Fokker D.VIII was a German World War I fighter aircraft designed by Reinhold Platz of the Fokker-Flugzeugwerke. Germany produced around 3,300 D.VIIs aircraft in the summer and autumn of 1918. In service with the Luftstreitkräfte FTE, the D.VIII quickly proved itself to be a formidable aircraft. The Armistice ending the war specifically required Germany to surrender all D.VIIs to the Allies. Surviving aircraft saw continued widespread service with many other countries in the years after World War I. Development and production. Fokker's chief designer, Reinhold Platz, had been working on a series of experimental planes, the V-series, since 1916. These aircraft were characterized by the use of cantilever wings. Junkers had originated the idea in 1915 with the first all-metal aircraft, the Junkers J-1, nicknamed Blechiezel. The resulting wings were thick, with a rounded leading edge. This gave greater lift and more docile stalling behavior than the thin wings commonly used at the time. Late in 1917, Fokker built the experimental V11 biplane, fitted with the standard Mercedes DI engine. In January 1918, at Flyegg held a fighter competition at Adlershof. For the first time, frontline pilots would directly participate in the evaluation and selection of new fighters. Fokker submitted the V11 along with several other prototypes. Manfred von Richthofen flew the V11 and found it tricky, unpleasant, and directionally unstable in a dive. In response to these complaints, Reinhold Platz lengthened the rear fuselage by one structural bay, and added a triangular vertical fin in front of the rudder. Upon flying the modified V11, Richthofen praised it as the best aircraft of the competition. It offered excellent performance from the outdated Mercedes engine, yet it was safe and easy to fly. Richthofen's recommendation virtually decided the competition, but he was not alone in recommending it. Fokker immediately received a provisional order for 400 production aircraft, which were designated D.VIIs by at Flyegg. Fokker's factory was not up to the task of meeting all D.VIIs production orders. At Flyegg therefore directed Albatros and AEG to build the D.VIIs under license, though AEG did not ultimately produce any aircraft. Because the Fokker factory did not use detailed plans as part of its production process, Fokker simply sent a completed D.VIIs airframe for Albatros to copy. Albatros paid Fokker a 5% royalty for every D.VIIs built under license. Albatros Flugzeugwerke and its subsidiary, Luftstreitkräfte, built the D.VIIs at factories in Johannisthal and Schneidermühl 1/4 HL, respectively. Aircraft markings included the type designation and factory suffix, immediately before the individual serial number. Some parts were not interchangeable between aircraft produced at different factories, even between Albatros and OAW. Additionally, each manufacturer tended to differ in nose paint styles. OAW-produced examples were delivered with distinctive mauve and green splotches on the cowling. All D.VIIs were produced with the lozenge camouflage covering except for early Fokker-produced D.VIIs, which had a streaked green fuselage. Factory camouflage finishes were often overpainted with colorful paint schemes or insignia for the jaster, or the individual pilot. Albatros soon surpassed Fokker in the quantity and workmanship quality of aircraft produced. With a massive production program, over 3,000 to 3,300 D.VIIs aircraft were delivered from all three plants, considerably more than the commonly quoted but incorrect production figure of 1,700. In September 1918, 8 D.VIIs were delivered to Bulgaria. Late in 1918, the Austro-Hungarian company MAG commenced licensed production of the D.VIIs with Austro-Daimler engines. Production continued after the end of the war, with as many as 50 aircraft completed. Powerplants. Many sources erroneously state that the D.VIIs was equipped with a 120 kW Mercedes DE engine. The Germans themselves used the generic DE designation to describe later versions of that engine. In fact, the earliest production D.VIIs were equipped with 170-180 HP Mercedes DE. Production quickly switched to the intended standard engine, the higher compression 134 kW Mercedes DE 1/4. It appears that some early production D.VIE delivered with the Mercedes DIA were later re-engined with the DIA 1/4. By the summer of 1918, a number of D.VIE received the overcompressed 138 kW BMW IA, the first product of the BMW firm. The BMW IA followed the SOHC, straight six configuration of the Mercedes DE, but incorporated several improvements. Increased displacement, higher compression, and an altitude-adjusting carburetor produced a marked increase in speed and climb rate at high altitude. Because the BMW IA was overcompressed, using full throttle at altitudes below 2000 am risked premature detonation in the cylinders and damage to the engine. At low altitudes, full throttle could produce up to 179 kW for a short time. Fokker-built aircraft with the new BMW engine were designated D.VIIs, the suffix F standing for Max Friz, the engine's designer. BMW-engined aircraft entered service with JASTA 11 in late June 1918. Pilots clamored for the D.VIIs, of which about 750 were built. However, production of the BMW IA was very limited and the D.VIIs continued to be produced with the 134 kW Mercedes DIA 1/4 until the end of the war. D.VIIs flew with different propeller designs from different manufacturers. Despite the differing appearances, there is no indication these propellers gave disparate performance. Axial, Wolf, Wotan, and Heine propellers have been noted. Operational history. The D.VIIs entered squadron service with JASTA 10 in early May 1918. When the Fokker D.VIIs appeared on the Western Front in April 1918, Allied pilots at first underestimated the new fighter because of his squarish, ungainly appearance, but quickly revised their view. The type quickly proved to have many important advantages over the Albatros and Alt Scouts. Unlike the Albatros Scouts, the D.VIIs could dive without any fear of structural failure. The D.VIIs was also noted for its high maneuverability and ability to climb at high angles of attack, its remarkably docile stall, and its reluctance to spin. It could literally hang on its prop without stalling for brief periods of time, spraying enemy aircraft from below with machine gun fire. These handling characteristics contrasted with contemporary Scouts such as the Camel and SPAD, which stalled sharply and spun vigorously. However, the D.VIIs also had problems. Several aircraft suffered rib failures and fabric shedding on the upper wing. Heat from the engine sometimes ignited phosphorus ammunition until cooling vents were installed in the engine cowling, and fuel tanks sometimes broke at the seams. Aircraft built by the Fokker factory at Schwerin were noted for their lower standard of workmanship and materials. Nevertheless, the D.VIIs proved to be a remarkably successful design, leading to the familiar aphorism that it could turn a mediocre pilot into a good one, and a good pilot into an ace. Manfred von Richthofen died only days before the D.VIIs began to reach the Jagdstaffel and never flew it in combat. Other pilots, including Erich Le Paragraph in Hart and Hermann Gar Paragraph Ring, quickly racked up victories and generally lauded the design. Aircraft availability was limited at first, but by July there were 407 on charge. Larger numbers became available by August, when D.VIIs achieved 565 victories. The D.VIIs eventually equipped 46 Jagdstaffel. When the war ended in November, 775 D.VIIs aircraft were in service. Post-war service. The Allies confiscated large numbers of D.VIIs aircraft after the Armistice. The United States Army and Navy evaluated 142 captured examples. Several of these aircraft were re-engined with American-built Liberty L6 motors, very similar in appearance to the D.VIIs' original German powerplants. France, Great Britain, and Canada also received numbers of war prizes. Other countries used the D.VIIs operationally. The Polish deployed approximately 50 aircraft during the Polish-Soviet War, using them mainly for ground attack missions. The Hungarian Soviet Republic used a number of D.VIIs, both built by MAG and ex-German aircraft in the Hungarian-Romanian War of 1919. The Dutch, Swiss, and Belgian air forces also operated the D.VIIs. The aircraft proved so popular that Fokker completed and sold a large number of D.VIIs airframes that he had smuggled into the Netherlands after the Armistice. As late as 1929, the Alfred Comte Company manufactured 8 new D.VIIs airframes under license for the Swiss Fliegertruppe. Survivors. The widespread acquisition of the D.VIIs by Allied countries after the Armistice ensured the survival and preservation of several aircraft. One war prize was captured in 1918 when it accidentally landed at a small American airstrip near Verdun, France. Donated to the Smithsonian Institution by the War Department in 1920, it is now displayed at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. 2 other American war prizes were retained by private owners until sold abroad in 1971 and 1981. They are today displayed at the Canada Aviation Museum, in Ottawa, Ontario, and the Militaire Luchtvaart Museum in Soesterberg, Netherlands, respectively. The latter aircraft is painted in fictitious Royal Netherlands Air Force markings. A former Marine Luchtvaartdienst D.VIIs was discovered in a German barn in 1948. This aircraft is now displayed at the Deutsches Museum in Munich, Germany. Both Canada and France also acquired numerous D.VIIs aircraft. A former war prize, one of 22 acquired by Canada, is displayed at the Brome County Historical Society, in the Knowlton neighborhood of Lac Brome, Quebec. This unrestored Albatros-built example, serial number D6810/18, is the only surviving D.VIIs that retains its original fabric covering. Of the aircraft sent to France, examples are today displayed at the Royal Air Force Museum in Hendon, England, and the Musée Copyright et de l'Arrêt de l'Espace in Paris, France. Reproductions. Many modern D.VIIs reproductions have been built. Most flyable examples are powered by Ranger or Gypsy Queen inverted inline engines. These engines must be turned upright to produce the correct thrust line, thus requiring a new oiling system. A few flying reproductions, such as the one at New York State's Old Rhinebeck Aerodrome, are equipped with original Mercedes DI engines. Variants: V11 a prototype, V21 a prototype with tapered wings, V22 a prototype with 4-bladed propeller, V24 a prototype with 179 kW Benz BZI for 1/4 engine, V31 a 1D-V aircraft fitted with a hook to tow the V30 glider, V34 a D-V development with 138 kW BMW I engine, V35 a 2-seat development with 138 kW BMW I engine and undercarriage fuel tank, V36 a D-V development with 138 kW BMW I engine and undercarriage fuel tank, V38 a prototype Fokker CI, operators. An Argentina, Argentine Naval Aviation, an Austria-Hungary, Austro-Hungarian Navy, a Belgium, Belgian Air Force, 9 Squadron. A Kingdom of Bulgaria, Bulgarian Air Force, a Czechoslovakia, post-war, a Denmark, Royal Danish Air Force, a Finland, Finnish Air Force, a German Empire, Luftstreitkräfte, Kaiserliche Marine, a Kingdom of Hungary, Hungarian Air Force, a Netherlands, post-war, a Latvia, Latvian Air Force, a Lithuania, post-war, a Poland, Polish Air Force, a Kingdom of Romania, Royal Romanian Air Force, a Soviet Union, Soviet Air Force, a Sweden, Swedish Air Force, a Switzerland, Swiss Air Force, an Ottoman Empire, Ottoman Air Force, a United States Army Air Service, United States Marine Corps. Specifications, data from, General Characteristics, Crew, 1. Length, 6.954 am, wingspan, 8.9 am, height, 2.75 am, wing area, 20.5 am. 2, empty weight, 670 kg, gross weight, 906 kg, power plant, 1 Mercedes DE 6-cylinder water-cooled inline piston engine, 120 kW or 1 130.5 kW Mercedes DI 6-cylinder water-cooled inline piston engine, or 1 137.95 kW BMW I 6-cylinder water-cooled inline piston engine. Performance, maximum speed, 189 km/h BMW engine, 200 km/h. Service ceiling, 6,000 am, rate of climb, 3.92 ams BMW engine Euro 9.52 meters per second. Time to altitude, 1,000 am in 4 minutes 15 seconds, 2,000 am in 8 minutes 18 seconds, 3,000 am in 13 minutes 49 seconds, 4,000 am in 22 minutes 48 seconds, 5,000 am in 38 minutes 5 seconds, 6,000 am. Armament, guns, 2 7.92mm LMG-08/15 Spandau machine guns. See also, related development, Fokker CI, aircraft of comparable role, configuration and era, Als DXI, Aviatik Berg DI, Als DXV, Martinside Buzzard, and Soldo Balilla. References, notes. Bibliography. External links, the Microsoft's Fokker D.VIII, the Fokker D.VII file website, original Fokker D.VII, photos of the unrestored Fokker D.VII at the Brome County Historical Society Museum in Knowlton-Lac-Brome, Quebec, Fokker D.VIII, Halberstadt CLIV and Junkers DI, Old Rhinebeck Aerodromes Fokker D.VIII page, www.all-aero.com Fokker D.VIII.